Okay, changing the subject of a formula. Now, this is an extremely important topic because you can rearrange equations or formulae so that you're going to set them all up. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet and you want to do something with it, you just change it around. Then with the Excel spreadsheet, you can make it multiple answers. So it's a huge time-saving device, this technique. So we need to make x the subject. Now at the moment y is the subject. Y on its own equals something. So we've got x on its own equals something in terms of y. That's what it means. All right, to do that, what I do is I like having this on the left-hand side. So I just make this little tiny step. It's not absolutely necessary, but I think it makes it a bit easier. Just do that. Now here, I don't want that 6 there, so I add 6 to both sides, just like a normal equation really. And now we got 2x equals y plus 6. Almost done now. We divide by 2, and x equals y plus 6 over 2. And that's fine. You can leave it like that. But if you want to split it up, you can write it as y over 2 plus 6 over 2, which is 3. That's another way of writing it. So you just rearrange that equation. Very important technique. This one, do the same thing. We would make L the subject, so we'll take it across the other side. A little bit more. This is a period of a pendulum, I think it is. 2 pi root L over G equals T, where T is the time it takes, and L is the length of the string, and G is gravity. So now what we'll do, we don't want that 2 pi there. We don't need to divide by 2 and then by pi. We're going to take the whole thing and take it underneath. So we're going to divide that whole thing by 2 pi, and we get that, L over G equals T over 2 pi. Okay, now what do we do with the square root sign? Well, if we square a square root, we'll get rid of it. So we square both sides. So I'm going to square that, and square that. And that'll cancel out the square root sign. I get L over G is equal to T over 2 pi all squared. It's not necessary to square each of these. You can if you want it. It'll be T squared over 4 pi squared, but it looks a bit messy. I think it's fine to leave it like that. And then you got this G on the bottom, so you've got to multiply both sides by G to bring it across here. So L equals G outside of T over 2 pi all squared. That's changing the subject of the formula. Okay, next example, it'll be a little tiny bit different. Okay, I'm going to show you two methods to this question. First of all, I'm going to change the subject here. So I'll do that as before. 4/3 pi r cubed equals v. And then we're going to multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of this down the bottom. So I've got 4 pi r cubed equals 3v. Then I'll divide by 4 pi. So r cubed equals 3v over 4 pi. So r must equal, now doing the other way, back to the front, r cubed equals this. So the cube root of this, we'll cancel that out, and this becomes simply the cube root of 3v over 4 pi. And then it's just a simple matter of substituting that value in for v, which becomes 300 over 4 pi. And that comes out, I believe, to 2.88. Right. Now this is a very valuable method. So for example, you had several questions. You say, I'll find the value of r when v equals 100, 200, 300, 400, it goes on and on in textbooks. Well, then you just set this up and just keep feeding that in, and you've got it. Or you can set up an Excel spreadsheet and just keep feeding in to get the answers. That's where it's valuable. However, under exam conditions, you probably only have one question. So the other way of doing it is this. You'll take the value of 100 and just put it in. So now I'll have 4/3 pi r cubed equals 100. Multiply, it's a bad 3. Multiply both sides by 3. We get 4 pi r cubed equals 300. Divide by 4 pi equals 300 over 4 pi. R equals the cube root of 300 over 4 pi. And just be very careful when you put that in your calculator to make any sort of silly errors, which I generally do on a calculator. Okay, and that gives you the same result, 2.88. All right, let's see. For example, don't put the square root, put the cube root in. Okay, that's done with changing the subject.